All right, welcome to our case study video. And this is for the one that we're going to do partially together, and I'm going to let you do the last part of it on your own. And then you'll be working with 4 smaller case studies to learn about local issues. So this particular video is going to look at the McCleary case. Okay. And what that has to do with is this way the state funds education for students. So the part we're going to do together is a selection, an excerpt from an article in My Northwest, and it's called "The State Doesn't Fund Basic Education. Now What?" And it's from January 5th, 2012. So it's a little bit older, about 12 years, right? But it's going to give us some of the basic information. Here we go. The McClearys and the Venemas started their lawsuit against the state when they didn't think the state was giving their kids a solid education. Dozens of school districts, teachers' associations, and education groups joined the legal action. The McClearys say when their daughter went to Port Townsend High School, she didn't have textbooks in many of her classes. In French class, the textbooks were so old that they couldn't be taken home because they were fragile. In other classes, there were handwritten worksheets and photocopies of old workbooks, reduced in font size to save paper. Stephanie McCleary says her son spent a fair amount of class time preparing various types of crafts for fundraising purposes. He ended up failing his 4th grade WASL, that's a standardized test, and says in court papers, her daughter's academic performance also trended downward because of inadequate funding. Is a school facility part of basic education? The original lawsuit that started led to today's Supreme Court decision that contends adequate schools are a part of the state's financial responsibility. Patty Venema pointed out at the middle school her children went to, there was only 1 girls' bathroom with 5 stalls in a building for 800 students. Okay, so now that we've read the article, we're going to go through our graphic organizer here on the right. Okay, I like to use bullet points for stuff like this, so that's what I'm going to do. You don't have to, but you are welcome to. Okay, so what is the issue? The issue is the state of Washington is not adequately funding public schools, or wasn't. Okay. Funding's gotten better, by the way, because of this decision. And scholars, that is to say children, were suffering as a result. Okay. So the McCleary decision, by the way, just to give you a little bit of background with me, starts about 5 years is when this finally gets decided after I start teaching. Okay, so that's the issue, according to this article, that the state of Washington isn't adequately funding public schools and kids are suffering as a result. So who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders, when we're talking about an issue, those are the people who have who the issue is going to impact. Okay, so according to this article, right, I would say kids and parents are stakeholders. The state of Washington, if I can spell correctly today, is a stakeholder. Right? They don't really list anybody else that I saw. And so, you know, when I say kids and parents, we've got McClearys, right? And I would point to this sentence right here, right? Stephanie McCleary says her son spent a fair amount of class time preparing various types of crafts for fundraising, and that her daughter's education suffered as well. In terms of what's that issue, that's right in the headline in this case, honestly. Okay. you could also look right there, right? What do they flat out say? They're not funding schools. In terms of education, I just spotted, or in terms of stakeholders, sorry, I just spotted another one, right? We've got school districts, teachers associations. That's another way of saying unions. Okay. Education groups. And I pulled, so I told you where I found kids and parents, right, in the state of Washington, because that's who's getting sued. But that second sentence right there, that was where I found the rest of the stakeholders that I listed. Okay. So what rights are people advocating for? So what are they? To advocate, again, means to argue or to fight for, right? Not fight like fist fight, but fight like I'm going to go out and sue somebody, or I'm going to push the issue and try to make something be addressed. Okay, so what rights are they advocating for? Right to a good public education. Okay, and what rights are they exercising? So this is what they're fighting for, right? And the Washington State Constitution, by the way, says that the state will provide you with a good education. So what rights are they exercising? They are petitioning the government. This is fancy words that you don't actually know. For redress of grievances, right? That's literally word for word from the Bill of Rights. What they're actually doing is suing the government to make it live up to its promises. Okay? That's probably the way you would phrase it, which is different than how I would phrase it, but I like to expose you to that fancier language. Okay? This last box, the relevance box, I'm going to leave that for you because everybody's going to say slightly different things, right? I would expect everybody to say, I am a kid being educated in Washington State. But you need to give me at least one other bullet point. So I did the first part of this, and you're welcome to copy my work. That's fine. Okay. You're going to look at one more source. That one source is a video. It's from King 5, which is the NBC affiliate in Seattle. Okay. And you're going to fill this in a little bit more based on what you find on the video. So you're going to see if there's any additional information you can add to it for the video. Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and hold on to this for right now. I am going to have you turn it in, but I'll just check it for completion. But you do need to hold on to it because you're going to need it later on. Once you're on your own doing case studies, we're going to have the same graphic organizer that you're going to be completing, but you're going to be doing it for 4, maybe 5 different issues, and you're going to have similar kind of short sources that you're looking at. All right, if you have questions, if you need any help, go ahead and reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you later.